So, hey, lovely people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And this is gonna be a technical video where, from the title of this screen, you can see that I have deployed one Clickhouse database on an ECS container on AWS. And I will teach you how to host a database on a private subnet with an application load balancer utilizing EC2 instances with auto scaling groups. Okay, and this is a project which is mostly that is being done in production with the open source database in any enterprise applications or in any industry or software corporate that you may think about. So these are the repository and it is public. You can go and see over whatever the code that I have written. There are different modules. Okay, I will show it the same on my VS Code terminal. Sorry, VS Code IDE. So as you can see, there are many things that I have written over here. You can see over here and you can just, follow the readme.md. Meanwhile, I will explain you over the brief. Okay. I won't go in detail to explain you the requirements as well as the whatever the modules, whatever the applications or services that I have made via this Terraform repository. But at least you will get a good glimpse. If you want to learn it from basics, then I would recommend you, and I will attach these links, DevOps courses by Abhishek Veeramalla and DevOps Shack. So Abhishek Veeramalla has a very good course on the DevOps and Terraform. Sorry, Abhishek Terraform. So he has a very good course from beginner to see all these 13 lessons are there. You can click. I will attach this link over this video. You can go and learn if you are going to try it from basics. Okay, from scratch. There is one more YouTube channel, DevOps, which I will also mention it in here. He's also a very good tutor. At free of cost, you can learn a lot if you want to try it from basics. And Terraform is not a very tough tool out there to implement infrastructure as code. So this is just a beginning where, okay, let me go to back to my VS Code beginning where you can, from the scratch, implement the backend structure of your Terraform state files as well as the DynamoDB that you are going to implement. So here is the backend where I have configured the main.file and I provided the Terraform log state bucket and the DynamoDB log ID that is there, which will store the Terraform state files. And you can see I have created via backend and I have put it in the root directory of provider.tf. So here it is put, it can go. Okay. And this all document is just like a production based cluster you can create. Okay. Similarly to your own environment, or even you can showcase it in your project. How and why, I will tell you just that in the modules I have created networking also, which creates a VPC with two private subnets and two public subnets. Now, there is one more thing. When you are setting up uh, ClickHouse on an EC2 with an application load balancer that is facing on the public subnet, then you need to take care of one more thing. The container or the instances that will be running the container of ClickHouse or Postgres or any SQL database that you might configure it, So what I have done is you can go and do it via two ways. Okay. So let's go to the ECS service. And when you are creating task definition over here, okay, it will ask you the image URI where you have to put in image URI. Now there are two ways that anybody or even in any whenever an enterprise application is built, there are two ways you can create an image. One is by directly getting it from Docker Hub, the public image. So you go into Docker Hub and you can search it over there. Anything Postgres. So this is the Docker official page images that it does have. So let's see whatever the versions or the any tag that you can think of, you can take it. And let's say this is the one. Okay. So when you are gonna pull this or run this, so let's see. So you can copy it, and you can also take the help of ChatGPT or any whatever you want to take. So let's go to the task definition. You can here paste it like this. That's just the way you run it in your local within the Docker container that you want, or you want to publish it into. Okay, just like this Docker run and this. However, I am not gonna run it right now. Okay, so let's go and see it for ClickHouse. Similarly, ClickHouse and Postgres are different, totally different. Postgres, you can find it answers on the internet. Postgres is a transactional level of database which maintains the data in a row or record manner. Okay, whereas ClickHouse is also a RDBMS, but it may stores the data according to the columnar level of database. It is an analytical processing database, whereas Postgres is a transactional database, right? So let's search for the ClickHouse. So there are two ways I was talking about that you can make the official image. The one that I prefer is the if I am going to do it in my own project or in any open source project, then I directly take it from ClickHouse this page. Okay. So let's say I am on any latest one. Okay. So let's go to my terminal and see what I have pasted in over here. Docker run ClickHouse. Is there anyone? Is there any Docker run? Uh, okay, it is there, but it is not with the name that I supposed to do it. Okay, so let's say this one is the one that I want to take. Sorry, not Jammy. Let's go for the latest LTS one. So anyway, we should always go for the latest one, even if there is, we don't need to update it in anything. In the EC2, it will automatically do rolling update with the ECS container is already established. So let's say it is like this. Yeah, see. Okay. So something like this, you can just paste it over here. Otherwise, what I have done is make a Docker file. And from here, I took a particular just one version before the latest, that is the most long-term support version, and made a Docker file over here. And then I made a private repository in this one. Now, you don't need to do it from here. What I meant to say this is you can make ECR repository from here, Elastic Container Registry, and there is one. So you can go through all of these, and whenever if you are stuck on it, you can ask me. So I've made this one push image.sh. As you already know, whenever we create any repository, any private repository in AWS ECR, the EC that particular repository gives us some particular. Let's see. Let's make only. Um, let's make and show it to you in practical way. Okay, so it will get created in few minutes, and as you can see, it gives you some push commands. So you can so my this push image.sh is nothing but the I just made it according to the commands that I received it from here to here. Now it is a more sophisticated, and as I told you, it is based on the production level environment. So you can directly take this, go into your terminal and clone this project. Go into your terminal first, go into backend. Yeah, before this you need to always log in to AWS console via terminal. Now how you will do is either by AWS configure or SSO login. So you can know, and you can search it on the internet how to do that. You will get the API keys, sorry, access keys and secret tokens from the AWS from your own account. I'm not gonna show you right now here. You can go and search it over there. So to push this image, you receive these commands, okay, from the AWS itself, and that's these are the this script that I have made is nothing but just the amalgamation of this. It's just written beautifully according to the production environment. So what you can do, you can clone my project, cd backend, and then you can apply the beautiful three commands: terraform init, okay, then terraform plan, and then apply. Or you can also put in auto approve so that you don't have to give yes as in command. Okay, so these are ready made. Okay, actually ready made, all the things are there, where it will from scratch. I will explain you from the modules that I have made. And no, sorry, once after this, in the backend that you have created the s3 bucket and dynamodb table for the terraform state files, you come back to the directory, root directory, that is the clickhouse project. In this, you need to, again, you can go through these readme.md and files. Other than, there is nothing much that I need to explain. But yeah, here I will show you that main.tf, where from the scratch it is creating first the ECR repo. Then it will call the .push image.sh that is already there. And the, obviously, like, all, you can go through all of these. It will create a VPC also, that is virtual private cloud. In the networking, it has this, okay, where it is going to create one public subnet, one private subnet, and different security groups that are going to be attached with maybe application load balancers, as well as ECS, as well as the EC2 containers. So you can go, after putting it in backend, you can come in the root directory and can, yeah, beautifully apply those three commands: terraform init, apply, and, sorry, terraform init, plan, and apply. Any question you have, you can write in comments and I will answer it surely. One more thing I want to discuss it over here. Yeah, see, there are two ways I would say that anyone, let's cancel it for now. Yeah, if you are going to run this, let's say for about 2 or 3 days and want to experiment it within you're about to get a charge of 200 to 300 rupees per month. Okay, if you are going to run these databases onto the private subnets and into your own cloud environment, so that should be a no-brainer because it is utilizing EC2 instances over the private subnets. So that is going to be, uh, yeah, like, it is going to be taking some charges. The one thing that I wanted to show you the difference is, here I have gone to the long way, okay, where I have deployed ClickHouse via EC2 instances, not via Fargate. Now there is another way also, like, Fargate is the another way where you can deploy any container, not only develop database, but also your application built in Java, Python, C++, whatever that you can think of. Okay, so if you are going to go to the cluster, and you see when you are creating any cluster over here. So I will say this. Let's go to my cluster ECS service task, where it is. It would be ECS service. Yeah. So okay, no. Sorry, cluster was in main.df. Yeah, I'm really sorry for this, man. So yeah, so this is the ECS cluster that it has been created accordingly. It gives you two options. It is from the management console, while on the other hand, you can go through the documentation part via going to this. Okay, this link also I will attach it. Terraform ECS docs. Oh, sorry. This is Kubernetes that will come later on. Let me go to ECS. Okay, yeah, this is the same ECS cluster that you can create and deploy it. And I will always say, you must know at least what you are doing, okay, before going and taking help of any AI or LLM models. So these are the things that you can go through, and yep, it will be very helpful if you can go through this, because this is the only thing that I have utilized and wrote it from scratch. It took me around 1 month to deploy such a large database onto the cluster of my own enterprise application. Now, the next thing is, yeah, I was explaining you the difference between this. So, when we are going through Amazon EC2 instances, in the longer run, it is cheaper, and you can scale it, update it. Like, there are blue green deployments and rolling update deployments accordingly, and you can maintain it accordingly. When you are going with the Fargate, as you can see, it is serverless. It might occur like different, very high experienced or senior DevOps professionals have different opinions. it might occur that they forget to take more amount when that database is going to be expandable and will store millions of data records. But with the EC2 instances, you can maintain and use it into your. So what I have created with the EC2 instances is the complete set. Here I've also attached the EFS volumes also, where you can detach it, make up the backups of the all the data, and you can extract it wherever or whenever the ECS servers are down also. But in the Fargate, you have to maintain it accordingly. But yeah, there is one huge advantage of Fargate. You don't have to worry about anything. Okay, EC2 instances or anything like that. Another thing I want to point out, and I faced a big challenge when any EC2 instances holding any database, Postgres, ClickHouse, whatever you want to name it. The big challenge is when they are in private subnets, and even if the VPC you have established some NAT gateways to access the outer internet from the inside of the private subnets. There is a bigger challenge that if you have created that containers with the image URI from this private repository in the VPC, you need to make endpoints which can route your internet traffic to the ECR repo. So I will tell you this, in the networking, you can see what are these endpoints that I have created. Okay, these are the security groups for different users. So the first endpoint you can see over here is the S3 gateway. Obviously, that is where all the images that you have made it customized and have pushed it into the private repository where they will be stored into that particular region S3 bucket. This is the ECR API that your instances are going to access it while pulling those images. This is the directory and the another is logs so that you can have troubleshooting and analytics for analytics purpose. You can see it. So these are the things that I wanted to point out. And one thing, yeah, when I was in ECS EC2, so yeah, when I created a auto scaling group via what AMI and launch I would use it and would be the necessary details. You can go through the AMI ID. That is, I have used both, whatever you can think of. The Amazon Linux, which is the RHEL based enterprise Linux, and the Ubuntu also for open source and free Linux environment. Now these two, your homework is to find out what does these necessary means. Okay, this is one user data Amazon Linux ECS.sh and user data Ubuntu ECS.sh, which I have attached it via AMI and launch with the cluster name. These only mean one thing, that your instances should be ready so that the ECS containers can run successfully inside those EC2 clusters. That's the only difference. So both of these scripts means only one thing. You can see from the above that I have set something about cluster name, updated it, and installed some utilities, then installed Docker to start it, and then I have extracted the ECS agent that is provided by AWS. Any EC2 instances that you are gonna, you know, run it into any EC2 instances. EC2 instances are of any kind or of any OS are not pre-configured to run your any container. For that, you need ECS agents. Okay, and that's how you are going to install it and you are going to configure ECS cluster and then run it successfully. So yeah, that's it. And if you have any questions, you can ask in the comments, and you can also write it to my email and all, and I will try my best to answer it. But I will personally tell you to go through all the documentation part, all the readme.md especially, to understand what does it mean and how you can run it into your inside of the ECS clusters. So yeah, this is the end of the video. And yeah, one thing I will show it to you for the EC2 instances, these two script that I have written over here, Where does it go? It goes into whenever you are going to launch any EC2 instance, there is a blank space in the advanced settings, advanced details, and at the most bottom, this is the what it where it is go. So what happens whenever you are launching any EC2 instances, the commands or the bash commands that you are giving, let's say I copied and pasted it over here. So after launching the EC2 instance, all these commands are going to be serially, you know, executed, and your instance is going to be ready so that you can utilize it whatever the way or whatever the configuration you have made it. So yeah, that is the end of my presentation. And yeah, you can clone the repository, public repository. I have a big request that please don't change the repository. Okay, don't made any unnecessary changes over that. And if you want to make any changes according to your own needs, then you can fork the repo. You don't need to copy it. Okay, all right, see you all. Thank you everyone.